And hello to you and you and you and you and you, and welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. It's good to see you today. How's everybody doing all around the world, watching right now on YouTube at Jim Masters TV, also watching on Facebook at Jim Masters TV. We hope you're having a fantastic day. I am your host, Jim Masters, aptly named for the show, right? This is the spot on the dial, a real broadcast term, where we say light, love, levity, or levity exists. A couple of weeks ago, I was saying light, levity, and love, and had a little bit of a Freudian slip, and we sort of created the word levity, and everybody has fallen in love with that word. And that's what it's all about. This show is designed to make you smile, to inspire, to inform, to educate. It's an entertainment lifestyle talk show series. And if you're just joining us for the first time, well, good to have you with us. We've been waiting for you. This is what I do professionally. For those of you who are watching around the world, maybe for the first time, we launched this show about 10 weeks ago. And it's something that so many people asked me to do for the longest time. They wanted me to create something like this because I wear so many different hats, literally, in television and radio and stage as a, TV radio host, voiceover artist, narrator, stage MC, writer, producer, actor, all of that fun stuff. And for various networks and TV stations, radio stations, and more. But so many said, create this show. So that's what we did 10 weeks ago. And I tell you, the response has been extraordinary. As somebody who does this for a living, to create something like this in our home studio and, sort of build the set and put all the time and effort in, it's really been wonderful because so many of you, and I'm looking at comments already coming in, every single night when we are here, because we do this show traditionally every single night. I know, crazy, right? 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Now, last night we weren't here because we did some, as you can see, we've done some major technical upgrades, and there's some other things that we are doing, some really cool things, and there's some exciting things happening as well. But we have done some major upgrades Sunday and Monday. We were going to do a show Monday, but we're going to have that scheduled for August 29th, that particular show. That would have been yesterday. So you stay tuned for that. We have an incredible array of guests coming up this week and all the way into September. It's extraordinary. So many people. As a matter of fact, I got a call today from an actress who said, I want to come on the show, and 3 others who said, I want to come on the show. And so many people have been spreading the word, and they've been telling everybody about the Jim Masters Show Live. And that really, truly moves my heart. I am really touched by that because, as you know, when you do these kinds of things, there's so much time and effort. I go to bed like maybe 3, 4 a.m., wake up maybe 7 or 8, and then get going on creating the show for that day and then getting everything set up for the subsequent days that are coming up in the weeks ahead. As you know, or maybe if you're just joining us, we have great guests that join us on the show, but sometimes we do food. We've taken you on location to the Netherlands, to Red Rocks, to Malibu and LA. We took you to the Brady Bunch house. We have comedy, music, food, entertainment. It's a talk show series, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. And it's so nice to see everybody here. Spread the word, have watch parties, tell everybody about the show. Every episode is archived for you as well on YouTube and on Facebook at Jim Masters TV. So Good day. Good to have you with us all around the world. I just want to check out some of the great comments, and then we're going to toast you. And boy, do we have a fantastic guest who's joining us, a wonderful dear friend, somebody who is a legend in the business. But more than that, you know, he's a vocalist. He's an award-winning composer, arranger, jazz pianist. He's worked with the greats. He's one of the greats, and he's an extraordinary person. He's extraordinary because not only is he really talented and quick-witted and affable and approachable, he's really a nice guy. He really cares about people. He loves to entertain. He loves what he does. He loves working with an audience, and he is here to share some of that talent with us here on the program. His name, of course, is Billy Stritch. You see it right there on the screen. The award-winning composer, arranger, vocalist, jazz pianist is joining us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. So again, we welcome you on the show. Let's check out some of the great comments. And it's so good to see you. Thank you, everybody. I love you so much, because when we weren't here Monday, all of the outpouring of love that was being posted on Facebook and the texts and everything else when we were doing the technical upgrades we weren't on last night, it was really amazing. And I saw every comment and I saw every post, everybody. And that moves me a lot that you missed us not being on, because for 10 weeks we've been on every single night, 7 nights a week. And then we had to do some technical upgrades yesterday and a little bit on Sunday, but Sunday was more of a, going out on the coast and getting beautiful air and cycling and playing tennis. And we live along the coast here, so it was really nice being along the coast. So thank you for all those comments and that love that you missed. You went into, I guess, Jim Masters withdrawal, some of you said, and well, I do too when I don't see you. So let's check out some quick comments here to welcome everybody. We have a wonderful audience that watches all around the world. And I see these lovely comments that are in already. And yes, hi, well, Willie, of course, you can't have the show without Willie watching in Holland and the Netherlands. Now, just a little side note here on Willie. Willie lives in Holland, lives in the Netherlands. She takes naps in the day so she can wake up at 1 a.m. her time in the Netherlands, so she does not miss an episode of the Jim Masters Show. So as always, Willie, there you go. There are your beautiful tulips. Nice, rich color there. Your Dutch tulips coming your way from Jim Masters, just for you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for your nice comments yesterday, too, when we were working on upgrading everything. Good to see you, Willie, in Holland. We have an amazing show, and Billy is excited to be here, and we're honored and excited to have him here as well. Crystal, who is in Connecticut. Hi, Jim Masters. Looking forward to a fantastic show as always. Thank you very much, Crystal. We hope you like all the upgrades and everything that we have done here, all for you. So we bring you the best broadcast possible. I'm a broadcaster, so trying to do what we can to make it ultimate for you. Hello from Florida. Hello, Mr. Levity. Yes, that is the word we sort of accidentally coined for the show. Gonna have to get some t-shirts or mugs or something that say Levity on it. When Ann Hampton Calloway was here, didn't you love when she came out with that quick song? She says, I'm going to have to write a theme or something here. I love levity. And she was on the piano, and all of a sudden, boom, she came up with a quick levity there. That was very nice of her to do that. And we loved having her on, and everybody who's been on. Hello from Florida. Yes, good to see you. Coming up Friday, we have Stan Livingston coming on the show. You know who that is? He played Chip on My Three Sons. Yes, My Three Sons. He's joining us. We have Lance Roberts, brilliant actor and performer. He's with us on Thursday. We've got some great folks here. And Edward Jordan is with us, with Sky Aubrey, film director. And also he's a film director and screenwriter. And she is a phenomenal actress and producer. Both of them are on tomorrow night's show, and that's going to be wonderful. So we have more. Hi, Jim, miss you. Well, we missed you as well as we were upgrading our equipment. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, working in this industry. So, out of the home studio, but so miss you too there in New York City, Joy. And how is Connor? I love that picture of you and your grandson, Connor. So nice to see you, and welcome, welcome, welcome. And yes. There he is again. Yes, we are here. Good to see you in Holland. And Avril Britton, so nice to see you in the United Kingdom there in Great Britain. We welcome you to the show. I hope you are having a beautiful day. I know it is late night for where you are there in England. And maybe one of these days we'll have to come over and go for some tea, maybe, and toast or something, and visit our relatives. The Masters side of the family come from Yorkshire, as I mentioned. My father's side come from Yorkshire. I'm the fifth James, and then they settled in New York City. And then my father's mother's side come from Ireland. And then my mother's side comes from Sweden. And my mother's father's side comes from England and France. And then, of course, if you do DNA, there's probably more, but we know of the English, Irish, Swedish, and French side. So good to see you there in the beautiful United Kingdom. And Anne is here. Wonderful Anne from SoCal. Hello from SoCal. I'm glad that you are with us as well. And thanks for the nice comments when we weren't here last night, when we were upgrading our equipment for a phenomenal show for you guys. Thank you very much. Good to see you, Anne. And Maxine is here as well. So nice to see you here, Maxine. You just joined us a couple of nights ago, and I guess you're enjoying the Jim Masters Show live, and I really appreciate that. Hello and levity to you as well. Christopher is in Sylvania, Ohio, in the band New Music Express, or New Love Express, where they do music, and that is really cool to see you. Hello, Jimbo. Hello, Christopher. Good to see you as well. Mare is here. Hey there, cutie pie Jim. You've been talking to my mother again? She is watching on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. Again, all the archived episodes are right there for you at Jim Masters TV. And if you want to tell friends right now that we are on live and Billy Stritch is here, do it, because we're going to have a great show in store for you. Mary Ryan, hi, Jim. Good to see you. Flowers and tulips from Willie. Thank you very much. Merlin is here from Innerkip, Ontario, Canada. Thank you very much for joining us. Nice to see you as well, Merlin. Hi, Jim. How are you doing? I'm doing really well. And as you can see, before I used to sit like right here or lower, and now we have it where I can move around and I can grab things. You know, we did a lot of moving around in the last couple of days, and it's been great. Phew, I need sleep, don't you? And some food. Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing great, and it's good to see you in Canada. And Christine, good to see you as well. Marianne Kelly, watching in New Jersey. Good to see you as well, Marianne. Thank you very much for joining us. Christopher taught 3 voice lessons today. That's fantastic. I imagine you probably did it virtually, you know, with Zoom or some other technology, right? A lot of people are doing that. I host a radio show, Close Up Radio Daily as well. One of the hats I wear in TV radio, and we've been doing all the shows really virtually, just out of the house. That's what you got to do right now. Hi, Jim. Missed you. Hope you had a good few days off. Sunday was nice. We were out at the coast, but then we had to really cram because we had all these upgrades and all new systems and everything is new. And then you got to get all these passwords and security keys and blah, 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 blah. And then the Xfinity has to come in and upgrade. And I just want to host the show. Just plug it into the wall, you know, and press on. But no, you gotta do what's right and get it right. And that's what we're doing for you guys, because we love you guys. We missed you too, Kathleen, the Queen of Queens, New York. Good to see you. Karen Levitt is here as well. Hi, Jim and everyone. Happy to be here. Looking forward to tonight's show. She's watching on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. And yes, I know you go to bed at 3 a.m. because you watch our show. Well, we have Billy here for a little bit, which is going to be nice. We won't keep him forever, but he's generous enough to give us a good amount of time. I love Billy too. Billy is fantastic. How can you not love Billy? I mean, he's amazing. You see Gary watching in Barcelona, Spain. Hello to you as well. Good to see you as well. So glad you showed. My pleasure. You know, I do this professionally, where I love to interact, very interactive with audiences. When I've emceed concerts at Carnegie Hall and other places, I love to have, you know, I've done that with Tim Janis, the composer, his holiday concerts. I just love doing that. I love being interactive with people. And like Billy will tell you, you feed off the energy of everybody else, and then you give it back tenfold. It's really great to have all of you here. Willie, yes. More. Liza, you mean Liza? Yes, Liza Minnelli. Yes, you've been doing your research. Absolutely. Yes, dear friends with Liza. There's Mr. Levity. How are you? Fine this evening? Absolutely. Yes, that's very nice of you to welcome him. Love the jacket. Thank you very much. You know, these jackets are kind of interesting because I think I've mentioned this before. One of the hats I wear is hosting and emceeing at MGM, Resorts International. So I wear these jackets that you've been seeing me sport on certain nights. Tonight I wanted to wear something like this for Billy. But these come from when I host at MGM and MC. So since that has been sort of quiet right now because they've been closed, we have been bringing them out for the Jim Master Show for all of you. Ralph Lampkin says, this is going to be fantastic. You know it is. And let's see. So glad that you did an upgrade with the studio. Thank you very much. The wallet is very unhappy. I'm glad you're happy. The wallet, not so much. Power Jimmy, thank you very much. Izzy, good to have you with us. And we are going to get ready to welcome our great friend. Again, we have so many terrific, I love that. No, never talk to your mom. I just posted the show on Facebook. I'm in love with you after the extended interview you did with Anne Hampton Calloway. It was so wonderful. And I love Billy. Well, that is, hey, beautiful words. We thank you so very, very much. And we've had Mairead Nesbitt here. The other night, Saturday, just so you know, we had Chloe Agnew, who's another dear friend. I've interviewed her many times on public television, on PBS. Mairead Nesbitt, too, she was on the show. The Harp Twins were on the show as well. Damien McGinty is going to be joining us in just a couple of weeks. Chloe Agnew, we did a 3.5-hour show. She was, it was fantastic, actually. I know you guys watched it. It was unreal. That was epic. And she was in Ireland at home with her family. We are going to re-upload that show. I know you saw it live. And we're going to re-upload it soon, probably in about a week, the full interview and all the fun and laughs we had. That was last Saturday night she was with us. And Chloe Agnew's show will be back. We're going to upload it on YouTube at Jim Masters TV and then probably Facebook as well. All right. So, yes, lots of fun with Chloe, and it was wonderful. And Ernestine, one more here. Ernestine, there's so many. Hi, late checking in. Had yard work to finish. Hope everyone was fine. And I think somebody was going to go out to dinner too and then rush back. I'm glad you guys planned your day around this. So do I. You're in North Carolina. I hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to you and you and you and you. So quickly, we got to do our toast to you and you and you and you. I toast all of you and thank you for joining us here exclusively on the Jim Master Show Live. And yes, Billy has his glass too. He's all set. He got the memo. He's got his glass. And we can't start without your friends. We will never lose your friends. There's your George Burns. I know you guys love George. So look at him. George is here. Again, this was my aunt's 100th birthday of George Burns. They came out with this exclusive commemorative doll. She was a doll collector. My cousin Barbara gave it to me a couple of months ago. We threw him on the show and boy, that was it. You guys were sold. He said, don't lose George. And he's there with his cigar and the whole thing. So George is here for you. He greets you. And look at that smile George has. He sees every single one of you. George is here and he welcomes all of you as he always does. He's, again, sort of like I guess you could say he's like my Ed McMahon. I need to be an octopus. I need more arms to reach everything. And of course, Jeannie's in there. You see her? Look at the nice color of that bottle, huh? It's the authentic hand-painted Jimmy Genie bottle. Thing weighs a ton. She's in there and she greets you. Just going to check on her. How you doing tonight? You doing okay? Yes, Master. So she's doing well. She's fine. And again, there's two more characters that you guys fell in love with. And you told me I have to keep on the show. So your wish is my command, just like it is for Jeannie. There's Silver, who we got on that TV shoot when I was in Switzerland. Silver is there. Wow, the upgrade really makes Silver nice and sharp now, huh? Beautiful. So there's Silver greeting all of you as well. And again, remember, the show is all about light, levity, and love, or as we call it, levity, levity, levity. And there's one more character here. Yes, we won't lose George Burns. Don't worry. And here's your friend, Jimmy. Jimmy says, hello, this was a childhood toy. Look at those blue feet, made of porcelain. Threw him on the show when we did the Nostalgic Week and all the childhood toys, and you guys fell in love with Jimmy. So there he is. Wow. Now you can really see him. Before, he used to be all blown out. You couldn't even really see the detail on his face. Like I said, if I'm ever out, I will have Jimmy host. How about that? You think Jimmy can handle it? Sure. All right. Now you've got all of our friends here. And now we do our official... I'm going to have to get a higher table so I don't have to bend. As I've told you before, And there's our guest right there. See him? Right there on the screen. Lights, camera, action. We always do this at the beginning of the show to welcome everybody as well. So here we go. Yes, picture clearer too. I know. Lights, camera, action. We go big time on the Jim Masters Show Live. We go Hollywood just for you. So there you go. The show begins. Lights, camera, and action. Welcome, everybody. Hope your day's going well. Hope you guys are doing well. It is time to welcome my extraordinary guest, a dear, talented, national treasure, really. National treasure. If you know his body of work, then you know he's a national treasure. And to have an opportunity to have him here on this show is fantastic. I absolutely love it. So with that, you guys want me to have a real dog with me instead of Silver? Could you imagine the barking and everything? And who's going to clean up after him? I mean, I love dogs and we had them growing up, but who's going to clean up after the dog in the studio? Watch all of you volunteer. Let's welcome our very special guest, the one and only Billy Stritch, to the Jim Masters Show Live. Look at that good-looking guy right
how
there.
are you? Look who I brought. I've got Sandy from Greece. So there you go. So she goes with me wherever I go. So
let Sandy
George.
say hi to George.
Hello,
I think George, if he had his opportunity, he'd run away with Sandy.
Anyway, I was not to be outdone, so I thought, So there's, she's here.
I love it.
So, hi Jim, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you, my friend?
Great.
How
Good
have
to see you?
How have you as well? You as well. How have you been? And I love this. You can't say it any better than this, Billy.
Thanks, Mary girl. I love it.
So how have you been creative? I know, but I want to hear it from your mouth and your words. How have you stayed creative and positive and enthusiastic during all the craziness of everything we've all been going through, Billy?
Well, the positive part is not the easiest part, and the enthusiastic part, but the creative part. It's funny because I did my last professional gig out of town was on March 11th. I flew home on March 12th. I had on March 15th. I do a residency at the Carlisle Hotel at Bemelman's Bar.
Oh yes.
And Jim Caruso and I do that, and we were starting our spring residency on March 15th. And we went in, and we kind of already knew this was up. Everybody was scared already, and there was we were hearing rumblings about they're going to close all the clubs and the bars. And literally before we left the gig, we played the one night, but before we left at midnight, the governor had essentially shut everything down. So March 15th was the last gig that I did. And then I'm very lucky. I live upstairs, down upstairs, 3 floors above me in my building. One of my best friends, Linda Lavin, who your viewers know certainly from Alice and Broadway.
Wonderful best friend to have.
Yeah, she's a fantastic friend. And so she was in town. She's here. And we thought, well, let's do something online. Let's just grab some time. Let's do a little Facebook Live.
Sure.
So we did that on the Wednesday, March 18th. And just kind of thinking we'd just do it one time as a lark. And we did it. And then we did it the following Wednesday. And then this thing all of a sudden, you remember back in March and first part of April, we're like, oh, I'm sure we'll all be back to work by June.
At least by June.
Oh, right? Yeah. It's like, well, this is, and who would have thought, that it's literally not going to be anywhere near that short at time. Yeah. So we kept doing these Wednesdays. And then about a month, I got toward the end of April. And I thought, I want to do my own shows. So I've been doing my own live streams from right here from my apartment. I have a wonderful partner and producer. My partner, Doug, has been helping me so much with filming it. We got, just like you, we've been doing upgrades every week, just doing a little bit more. And we got a new webcam. We got a new program similar to the one you're using, where you could put the captions up and you could put the comments up. And it's just, as you were saying before we went live tonight, as we were saying, it's like, who would have thought this was not even in our mind back in early part of March? Who would have thought anything like this would happen? But we are figuring it out. You and me and so many of our friends have been forced to figure out a way to present ourselves to the world and hopefully create some sort of stream of income as well. And that's actually doing that, having that outlet has made me optimistic, and it has given me some energy and some uplift. And I was very depressed about all this back in March and April.
So many people, have really been. It's hit artists especially hard. Everybody, but especially the artists.
I mean, because literally, I think we're going to be the last people that are actually going to go back to our normal, because it's the very nature of what we do is people congregating in theaters and bars and concert halls.
You know what this shows, Billy, too, is that the arts are so needed, because right now people are listening to music and they're watching nostalgic TV and they're creating and they're doing pottery and they're gardening or whatever. They're doing things that normally they didn't always have that amount of time to devote to.
Well,
it just shows the arts need to be supported and funded and celebrated, because especially during times like this, it gets you away from the sadness and chaos of the day-to-day life, right?
It keeps you sane. I think you have to be able, you have to find an outlet to get out of the news and get out of what's going on just for an hour a day, just for whatever. If you don't do that, I think you tend to get very depressed and go nuts. And I think it's up to us individually to do things to kind of keep us from going over the edge. And also, it's interesting because this whole reset that we're going through has actually made a lot of people discover hobbies, things they always thought they wanted to do and never had the time to do them. And now there's the time to do them. So, I'm one of these, I try to be very optimistic and look at the glass half full as opposed to glass half empty. There is time to connect with people. There's more time. There's more time for hobbies. There's more time there's so much fantastic content out there. Between shows like yours and live streams like mine and live theater, and people are doing virtual readings of plays and concerts, and there's plenty to watch, from the comfort of your own home. So that's not a problem. But you're right. I do wish that our this country would support us a little bit more. I think other countries are doing a little bit better job, because we're all struggling. Especially actors who depend on live theater and performing live. I'm lucky because I'm a musician. I can sit at my piano and do something. I don't have to be on a stage in front of an audience, but an actor kind of does, a theater actor. So, I wish they were getting a little more support.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go back in time a little bit to the young Billy. When you younger,
go back a long way for that.
Wait, let me correct that. Younger. Not young Billy, younger.
Let's go.
Do you come from a entertainment family? What were some of the inspirations you had? Were you the kid that was always running around entertaining others?
My family is not showbiz at all. There's no real music in my family. I just popped along and I had an ear for it. I could sit at the piano and figure out music. I was always attracted to music on television. What I loved was watching variety TV like Carol Burnett and Sonny and Cher and Laugh-In, shows like that. So that was, when I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, that was what I was watching, and then listening to records. But it didn't come from anyone in my family. And a matter of fact, I think my parents were like, where did this kid come from? Although they were always very supportive, and they never did anything. They always did whatever they could to support it, give me everything I needed to further my education in music and performing. And I had a fantastic grandmother too, who took me to every Broadway show that came to Houston. That's where I'm from, Sugarland, Texas. So tours would come to Houston. Every single show, the Alley Theater, the repertory company there, she would take me to all the shows. So I got the theater bug very early, and that was due to her, because so between what I would see on television and live theater, by the time I was 10, it was pretty solidified in my mind what I wanted to do. I really knew that I wanted to be in show business, and be a performer. So, but I'm the only one in the family. It didn't come from anywhere else.
So how did you pursue it? I mean, you grew up, like you said, in Sugar Land, Texas. How did you pursue it? Were you in plays in school? And
plays in school, and I went to. I mean, it was a really good public school that had a great music department. So and especially in high school, great drama department, wonderful music department with the jazz band, and I had opportunities to be in talent shows and play for the choir, and so I was known by the time I was in high school. I was this talented kid, and I got a lot of recognition for that. And also my parents, I studied with a lot of really wonderful piano teachers who were teaching me more about pop music and jazz, about instead of not classical, because I mean, that's where I started. And what I hated the most was having to sit down for hours and practice scales and do all that stuff. I wanted to go where my ear was leading me to go. So by the time I was 12, my mom was driving me into Houston to some wonderful teachers who would sit me down and show me what how to read a chord symbol like C7. What's C7? What's F13? What's all that mean? How to look at music from that way and learn how to improvise and do all that stuff, and put me also onto who to listen to, like great pianists like Bill Evans and Oscar Peterson and Andre Previn and people like that. So, and also at the same time, I was listening to Billy Joel and Elton John and Barry Manilow, all piano players, of course.
That's right.
So I was listening to a lot of popular contemporary stuff, but also jazz at the same time. So I have to hand it to my mom and my dad. My mom especially, because she really was the one who did the research to find out who would be good teachers for me. And I had some wonderful educators in high school who really encouraged it as well. So there was plenty of outlets for my education.
So as you went along, what were some of those breaks that were really pivotal for you, Billy, that really opened up sort of the door, the gateway to this path of incredibleness and creative, this journey?
I mean, I started working gigs and getting paid to do gigs when I was like 13, 14. I was this kid in the neighborhood who played piano, and at that point I really wasn't singing, but I was playing, and they would hire me for weddings, and I played in church, and I did all that. So I could make money, a little bit of money, which is fantastic when you're 13 and 14 and you're actually making some money. And then when I was 15, I got a job playing cocktail piano at a country club. Of course I was underage, but it was a private club. So my mom would pick me up from school at 3:40 every afternoon, and I would jump in the back seat of the car as she was driving me to the country club, and I would change clothes. I put on my little tie, and I had like 5 different outfits, one for each day of the week. And I played in the country club from 4 to 7 for mainly lady golfers who were coming in off the golf course and coming in to drink. I mean, they were, lots of drinkers, and really fun group. And it was really a piano bar. So they sat around the piano. I had the big brandy snifter, and I learned early on that if I learned these songs they were requesting, that they would put money in the bowl. So that was so from the time I was 14, 15, 16, I was learning Gershwin, Cole Porter, Irving Berlin. I was learning as much about standards, American popular. They call it the Great American Songbook. So that was my first big break, because I did that for 3 summers. Then I was in a band who played weddings and bar mitzvahs and receptions through my first year of college. And then and I was also playing nightclubs pretty young with singers, but my first big showbiz break was when I was 18, and I got the opportunity to put together a quartet and play for Phyllis Diller.
Oh my
She
God.
came to Houston.
Bill is still one of my favorite people.
Me too. She came to Houston. She did a 3-week engagement at the Windmill Dinner Theater.
Oh my God.
And all I had to do was play her on. We played like 4 songs at the beginning. And then we played on her opening act. It was a guy named Mercer Helms, and he was a magician. But he was also traveled with her, and like kind of handled stuff for her on the road too. I mean, they were family,
Yeah.
They really were together all the time. And then I play his act, and then I would play her on, and then play her off. So, but getting to watch her.
Were you pinching yourself during all of that, saying, "I'm with"?
Yes, because I certainly remember seeing her on television. I mean, that was like I knew she was a big star.
Oh,
I was very aware of who those stars were. I did my homework. I watched. I mean, I knew who all the stars were. So I wasn't like most kids my age who were like, "Who?"
Yeah, right.
Phyllis Diller was a big deal. And what was great about it is that she was a pianist. She loved music. She loved going out. She loved to party.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 18. I was just, at that time, the drinking age in Texas was 18. So I was like, here we go.
Here we go.
So we would finish the show about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And then she would grab me up and we'd get in the car with Mercer and a woman named Maxine, who was her assistant, who handled her wardrobe and everything. 4 of us would go to piano bars, go to clubs every single night, hang out. She loved me because I was a piano player and she was a piano player. So we hung out all those nights and we became friends, and we stayed friends until the day she died. I mean, every time I went to LA, I would go to her house. We'd play cards. We'd have dinner. We kept up with each other. I've had her to my apartment a couple of times. So that was my first big showbiz, like I could actually be in showbiz and be working with stars, and then from there I formed a vocal group when I was in college, when I was about 20, 20, and we started working. We worked all through the clubs in Houston and Dallas and Little Rock, Arkansas, but we were good, and we started going to New York and working some of the clubs in New York. And that's when I really, the New York bug bit me. And that's when I met a lot of celebrities and a lot of people, important people in the business in the 1980s.
So in New York, what was one of the earliest projects that you got in productions you had an opportunity to be a part of that really?
Well, I mean, we had this vocal group, and so we were working. It was me and 2 girls. It was called Montgomery Planted Stritch. So we worked. The first gigs we worked in New York were at a club called the Duplex. Then we worked at a club called the Ballroom, which was down on 28th Street, and that's where I met Margaret Whiting and Julie Wilson and Donald Smith, who headed the Cabaret Mabel Mercer Foundation. Lots of Chito Rivera. Lots of people came to see us, and then we started doing residencies at the Algonquin at the Oak Room, which was a very chic club to work in the 80s. It was a lovely separate club, and because it was part of the legendary Algonquin Hotel, we stayed in the hotel as well, because we weren't living in New York yet at this point. So we were very fortunate to work 6 weeks and stay in New York, and then we traveled. We got a really wonderful manager who had a lot of connections in the jazz world, and we worked every summer at the North Sea Jazz Festival, and a couple of years we worked at the Newport Jazz Festival, and Carnegie Hall opened for Mel Torme. So that whole part of my life was about 8 years, and so it was a self-contained group. It wasn't like I was involved in other productions. We were like really trying to make it as our own entity. And we did pretty well until we didn't anymore. Everyone kind of was getting antsy to go do other things. So I would say after all that happened, I have made wonderful connections in New York. I met wonderful people, and I felt really so at home in New York by that point, even though I was still based out of Texas. When the group broke up in 1990, I moved to New York full time. And within a couple of months, I was working in a piano bar. A friend of mine had given me a couple nights a week at his restaurant called Bobo's, which was down on West 42nd Street. And every night I would go into that club, and he would say, you missed her. She was just here last night. He was talking about Liza. So I knew that they were friends. She would come into the restaurant, but we just kept missing each other. But I just had this feeling that, we were destined to meet. And so we did one of those nights. And I could go on with that story if you'd like to hear.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So
refill the glasses, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm gonna take a sip, and I'll tell you the rest of it.
Oh, let's do the toast too while you're at it. Let's do
we
our.
didn't do it.
We've got to do our toast. So I will go.
Yeah, you're going the right way.
Yeah, folks, we actually rehearsed this.
Yeah, we did.
And
sing. There we go.
All right. And what do you have in that big glass?
I've got a glass of rosé, and you've got a nice pink drink, right?
Watermelon martini. Very nice and refreshing.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So this is 1991. This is March of 1991. And I go into the club one night, and it's pretty quiet when I walk in, except I see 4 women in the back of the room, all in black. And I walk in, and I look over to Bob, who is the owner, and he kind of was like, "There's Liza." It's like, "Oh, okay." So I sit at the piano. There's really nobody there, and start playing. Bear in mind, I don't know why I thought this, but I really just had this feeling that I was going to know her. It wasn't going to be just like, hi, bye. I just had this sense about it. And so I thought, well, now how am I going to get her over here? And I literally thought, don't play Cabaret, don't play New York, New York, because she gets that all the time. I mean, everybody, that's just too simple. So there's a really fantastic movie, and it's one of my favorite films. It's called The Bad and the Beautiful. It's from the 40s. It was a movie with 1950 movie with Kirk Douglas and Lana Turner, and it was directed by Vincent Minnelli. And it's got this gorgeous theme music that was written by David Raxon. This great theme. So I started to play that, and I'd get about 8 bars in, and I see her stand up, and she starts walking over to me. I'm thinking, okay, that worked.
Yeah.
And, she walks over to me, I kind of smiling, and I'm smiling at her. And it literally was like, I wasn't nervous about it, I mean, it's like I was excited that she was walking over to me. I was a huge fan since Cabaret, since Liza with a Z. I mean, I'm certainly, she was one of my favorite performers. And she came over, she goes, "How do you know that song?" I said, "It's from one of my favorite movies." And she said, "Well, my father directed that movie." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And then she sat next to another bitch. She goes, "Hi, I'm Liza." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And, we just kind of laughed, and it was just really, really comfortable. And as the night went on, more of my friends came to the piano bar. Chita Rivera showed up, and she and I were already friends, and she was very good friends with the owner. And Chita's daughter, Lisa Mordente, came. It was by the end of my shift, there was a lot of people, and it was kind of a party going on. And I remember Liza saying to me at the end of the night, she goes, how am I the only one that didn't know you? I'm like, well, you know me now. So, and now we know each other. And she invited me. She was just beginning rehearsal for a big show at Radio City Music Hall called Stepping Out at Radio City Music Hall. And she invited me to come watch rehearsals the next Monday. And of course I did. Yeah. So I show up at rehearsal. She introduces me to everybody. Now, she had 12 women in the show, and a couple of these girls I knew. So there was a few people in the room that knew me. So that was kind of cool. I wasn't just like, who's this kid? But everybody was so great to me. Bill Lavorgna, her drummer and conductor, was great. Peter Howard, the legendary dance arranger, was there, loved me. Marvin Laird, Don Sebesky, all these fantastic arrangers, and Russ Kassoff, her pianist. Everybody was great. And Fred Ebb of Candor and Ebb, who was also her stage director, was just incredible. So I just kept coming back, and she loved me. We left hanging out some more. From the night when rehearsals would be over, she said, "Let's go have dinner." So it wasn't just like, "I'll see you tomorrow." It was like we were building this great friendship at the same time. So cool. Now, the nice thing about it was that because the second act of the show had 16 women in the show that came out, the conceit of the show was that Liza would start the second half, And all of a sudden, a woman in the audience who was planted there was like, you look so lonesome up there. I wish I could come out and join you. And then all of a sudden, we've got all these women who were on the stage, and she called them her demon divas. But there was a lot of vocal arranging to be done for these women, for the parts with the women in it.
Sure, yeah.
And that was my background. So I started.
It's extraordinary.
I started like contributing things. People said, well, what would you do here? And everything. And then after about a week and a half of that, Fred Ebb called Liza one night. She told me later, she called him one night. And she said, that kid's good. We need to hire this kid. Let's hire him. So I was put on the payroll, and that was my first big break by myself as a credit in New York, in this world. So
did you get on the phone and make that call back home to Texas?
Oh yeah, it was so exciting. My parents came up for that show, and they got to know Liza really well. And when the show went on tour that summer, Houston was one of the stops. So my parents threw a big barbecue for the whole cast and crew at my my childhood house. And all the Sugarland people and all the people I grew up with, like 100 people. So it was quite a big deal. Liza was great. Liza was just like some wonderful, ordinary person that just happened to be, big star. But she was very easy and took pictures with everybody. And she really loved kind of being normal in that world. It was so different from what she was used to. It was a novelty for her. And I think she really, really loved that. So we had a lot of fun times together throughout the 25 plus years, but certainly early on, it was kind of amazing.
Isn't that amazing when that happens and you come across a relationship like that defies any definition or explanation? It's just an automatic, effortless situation.
It is, Jim. It doesn't happen all that often, but with her, that connection certainly was immediate. I mean, I just had a feeling, even before I met her, when Bob would say, "Oh, she was just here, you missed her," everything, I just thought, well, this is meant to happen. Because she just, it was weird because that Radio City show there was a big buzz around it. You couldn't turn a corner without seeing her on top of a taxi cab or on a bus or billboard someplace. She was just everywhere. And I don't know, I knew all the same people, and it just felt like it was inevitable. And I mean, I certainly didn't think it was going to end up being a connection that would have lasted so many years and taken me to so many places and given me so many experiences and opportunities. But it was, but that's really rare. That doesn't happen. Those long relationships, first of all, they don't happen. And then just the feeling that a relationship was meant to happen like that doesn't come along too often.
Absolutely. So New York became your home, huh?
It did. Yeah, it sure did.
And this wonderful relationship with Birdland too, and with the wonderful Jim Caruso. Hope we can get him to pop on the show too. How did all of that develop? Because you guys are just amazing together, and even independent of each other, you guys are amazing. But how did all of this develop?
Well, at the same time that I had my group back in the 80s, my group Montgomery Planted Stritch, Jim had a group called Alexander Burton and Caruso. And so we were all working the same clubs at the same time. So I met Jim probably back in 1982. And so we were friends through the 80s, although we were in separate groups. And then as it happened, that group that he was in broke up, and then he formed a new group with two other guys called Wise Guys. And as it happened, my group broke up end of 1990. We ended up moving to New York basically at the same time, and certainly independently of each other, but our careers, kind of did that parallel thing. So we had this great friend. He's always been, a good friend, really one of my best friends. And we've just helped each other out throughout our respective careers. He had that group Wise Guys all through the 90s. I was doing my solo thing, but we were working in the same clubs, 88, the Algonquin, different places. I was working, and then about 97 or so, he did a solo act. His group broke up. He did a solo act, and he asked me to play for it. And so that's when we actually teamed up as a duo. And we worked a club called Archie's Place that used to be down on Park Avenue South, 30th Street. Had a really wonderful room, and we recorded an album from there. It's his album called Jim Crusoe Live and in Person. And so we started that, and then he could tell you this. I can't remember the exact year, but it was probably around 2003. He gave a party one night. He knows everybody. I mean, he's a networker, and I always said, Jim, you should have been in PR. This is your thing. He was never interested in doing that. He wanted to be a performer, and an impresario and an MC and a presenter. So good for him, because
there's something about that in gyms for some reason. You notice that?
Right, exactly. So about 2003, somebody said, you should just have a night where you have all your great friends get up and come and play. And so he had a invited party in the back room. There's a place on West 46th Street called Danny's Sea Palace, and it was a Thai restaurant. I don't think it's open anymore, but there was a room in the back called Danny's Skylight Room. So he got that room one night, and he invited, I think Liza came, and because at this point we were all friends, and Dave Cause came, and Jason Alexander was there, and just tons and tons of really talented people, and everybody just got up and sang, and it was very loose. But at the end of the night or the next day, somebody called and said, you should do this all the time. So, click, click, click in his mind. He came up with the idea for Cast Party. So he started doing this night at a place called the King Kong Room, which was in the Edison Hotel. We did it there for a year. Then we were chased out of there. And then we went there were a couple of other venues, a place called Ars Nova on the west side and a place called the Pink Room way on the west side. Neither one of those lasted for very long. And then Jim got in touch with Birdland, and I think 17 years now he's been doing that. So he created that top to bottom. I played for Cast Party maybe 13 out of the 17 years. I had a couple little breaks in the middle, but we've been friends way back, almost 40 years. So it was just natural that we'd be affiliated with Cast Party, and also the gigs we do at the Carlisle. We do the bars at the bar at Carlisle, right. And we also take Cast Party on the road. We've gone to Vegas and Chicago and Florida and Houston and Austin and LA many times. Went to London with it, and we hope to do it again when we can all do it again.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That's fantastic. And it's great, again, when you get a chance to come across people like that, and again, forge these relationships that you can each call upon as you're creative and collaborating, yeah. which is a beautiful thing, right?
It's a really wonderful thing. Between Jim and Johnny Valente, who owns Birdland, I know that I have a home and an outlet and a place to work. Jim, so he has my back in terms of like a venue, and very supportive of everything that I do. And, we just kind of look out for each other. That's just, we get each other. We get the same kind of music. We like the same kind of things. It's nice to have a friend like that who, maybe you're not dependent on all the time, but who you can call on and go, well, what do you think about this? Or, who has a similar sensibility. Exactly. And certainly Jim's that friend for me.
Absolutely. And again, these are wonderful blessings that have come across your life. And again, I think good people good attracts good. And that's what's happened to you with all these great experiences. People have been commenting, they love these stories that you're personally sharing, and the story with the meeting of Liza. And, when you have opportunities like this, it really is what makes it all so extra special, Billy. And I think, in the case with Liza and with Jim, and just the body of work that you have is extraordinary. I mean, when you look back at it, you must be like, my God, I did that, and I forgot I did that, and I did that, and composing, arranging, vocalist, jazz pianist, and so much more. is there any, if somebody were to come up to you and say, well, you do a lot of things and you're very talented at all of it, Billy, but what is the thing that speaks to your heart first and the deepest? Is it jazz pianist? Is it vocalist? Is it
I think the thing that I really, that comes out of me, channels out of me, really, that I feel like I do in a very unique way, is playing and singing, and also accompanying other singers. I think that's something because I'm a singer myself, I understand how to accompany another singer and breathe with them and follow the phrasing. And if I have a chance to accompany a singer who I enjoy their company and enjoy them as a person and we laugh, that's my favorite thing of all. I mean, I have this incredible, wonderful, full relationship with Linda Lavin, where we have this great relationship on stage, but we're such close friends, and we have such a shorthand. I have the same kind of thing with Christine Ebersole. We laugh all the time. She's a genius singer. It's a pleasure to play for her, but it's also a pleasure to be with her. I mean, I'm lucky in that most of the people that I work with on a regular basis are also people that I really enjoy being with and traveling with and spending time with. I mean, that to me is really what it's all about. That's really what that's the rich part of being in this business, is the people you're with and the experiences that you share. I mean, the work is great, and of course the music is very gratifying, and the response is very gratifying. But there's a lot of, that's just 1 hour out of 24. I mean, the rest of the time, I mean, there's like a lot of hours to fill, and when you can spend it with people who you really enjoy being with, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm at this point now. I realized within the last couple of years that all of a sudden I'll see things on YouTube. Somebody will send me something on YouTube or some link to something that I did a long time ago. I'm starting now to see all I've done.
And
when you're going through it, it doesn't seem, but now it doesn't stack up like that.
Right.
But now I'm seeing it, and there's a lot of things I even forgot I did. It's really kind of fun to see these things again. But then when you start to have younger people at Birdland come up to you and say, "Oh my God, I remember listening to this album of yours when I was 10 years old." I'm like, holy Toledo. And of course, because I'm 58, I don't feel 58. It's just a number to me, but I've kind of had this 30-year-long solo career, and a lot of it was involved with Liza or Marilyn May or Linda Lavin or Jim or Tony Bennett or people like that. So I realize now through certainly what I'm doing online and the responses that I'm getting through social media, that's opened it all up. I'm starting now to feel the impact that I've, for one reason or another, had on people, and the footprint that I've made in my little section of the business, and that's pretty cool, honestly.
It's very touching. I've talked to a number of guests on this show, but in other venues and just in life as well. Sometimes we get so busy doing the things that we do in our creating on a daily basis that sometimes you get somebody, it could be in a supermarket, and they'll come right up to you, and maybe they've always wanted to come up to you. They've always wanted to send the email. They've always wanted to make contact. And then there you are, and there they are in the produce aisle, and they come up to you and they say, "Oh my God, I just have to tell you that one particular thing you did, or that one song, or that one project, or whatever, deeply touched me and moved me, and I want to thank you." When you get that, when you hear that, Billy, how does that make you feel?
I love it. I'm always like kind of surprised and shocked, and that I'm recognizable in that way. But then I'm secretly thrilled, and it's like, and I know what it's like to be on the other side of that. So I know, what it means to that person.
Yeah.
If they're going to come up to you and say that, then it means something to them. So my part of the deal is to be really receptive to it, and to be really gracious about it. It's not a problem for me. I like making somebody feel good. If they took the time to say something like that to me, I want to be accessible, and I want them to go away thinking that I was a nice guy, So because I know what that's like. When you meet people who you respect and admire and look up to, it's thrilling. When they're nice to you and receptive to you. So, I'm not a huge big star, but for some people, I'm important. So, I've made an impression on some people.
Well, you are on this show. I'll tell you that now.
Well, I'm the biggest, maybe, at this moment. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
Great to have you here. And somebody mentioned your relationship and friendship with Ann Hampton Callaway, who we just had.
Who you just had on the show. Yeah.
Phenomenal conversation with her as well. Tell us about that and working with Ann.
Well, Ann's another person that I've known since the 80s. We met all those years ago. We really became close in the 90s. I have so many, when I met Liza in 1991, I brought to Liza's world my entire circle of cabaret friends. That's Jim Caruso, and there was a group called the Tonics, and there was my friend Alexandra Haas, and there was Ann Hampton Callaway. And Liza loved Ann, loves the way Ann sings. We all do. And so Liza started throwing parties regularly in her apartment for all these people. It was just the kind of party you would dream of, where we'd all have something to eat and then have a drink and then go back to the piano room, and everybody would just get up and sing, and you do a number and you do a number. And so I have great memories of Ann going back all that far. But in the past 2 years, we've had a chance to work together. We actually really hadn't worked together before, except back in 1992, we were both signed to the same record label company called DRG. And they did an album called A Cabaret Christmas. And so she and I recorded a jazz version of Winter Wonderland. And we did that at some shows, and we did it on the Today Show. I think you could probably find that somewhere. But we did our separate careers. But then 2 years ago, she came to me and said, I'm doing this. I want to do a Linda Ronstadt songbook. And I think you'd be the guy for it, partly because I sing, and there's a couple of great duets. But also, I really can play that kind of music. I can play pop and rock and country because I came from Texas. So I'm not just jazz, and I'm not just standards. I have a feel for that kind of stuff. And so we've enjoyed going all around the country. We actually last year went to do it at the Kennedy Center because Linda Ronstadt got the Kennedy Center honor. So the week of that, we got to perform it at the Kennedy Center, and we've recorded it. Hopefully it'll be a recording. We recorded it live at 54 Below, but I think Ann wants to go in the studio at least before all this happened. That was the talk. So hopefully we'll get in the studio and record it.
Absolutely.
But she's just great. God, there's nothing she can't sing. That's
unbelievable.
Sure.
Yeah.
She's got the voice of heaven,
Yeah.
And she can write anything, and she creates poetry and creates songs on the spot, and just a great heart. And I miss her because she's moved to Tucson, so I don't get to see her very much. But they have a beautiful life there, so I'm happy for them.
And Maxine comes in here and says, I'm one of those people who went up to Billy at Florida University, and he was more than gracious.
Well, thank you. I'm glad. Thank you, Maxine.
Proves what we just said. Yeah.
Great. That's great. I love Good.
We do have some photos I want to show as well. And we can, well, our research department did a little digging.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, we got some really beautiful shots here. And I love looking through all these different photos you were mentioning. This one here, of course, is beautiful. Tell us about that one.
That was when Liza was doing photos for an album. I think it's the last studio album she did called Confessions. Must have been 2011, 2012, something like that. And those were taken at a studio downtown. That's all I can tell you about that.
Yeah, that's a nice shot. That's a beautiful shot.
I love what she's wearing. I love her in that blue.
Is that a great? Yeah, that's absolutely terrific.
Right.
Let's go back in time a little bit. How about that one there?
Oh, that's my very first album cover. That was 1992. That was DRG Records. And that was taken in Liza's apartment in that piano room. You can't tell but that's Liza's piano. Mm-hmm. What was great about that apartment was on the 21st floor, and lots
now
of.
You see it, yeah. There it is.
and in the back of the piano room had windows on two sides.
Mm.
So that was taken about 2:00 in the morning. So the windows are blacked out. You can't really see anything behind it. It's just a black background. But what's cool about it is it was taken by the legendary makeup artist Kevin Aucoin. And look him up if you don't. I mean, you may know him, but he sadly passed away, but he was the guy. And he was also quite a fine photographer, but wasn't really known as a photographer. Liza knew he was a photographer, and Liza said, we should get Kevin to do the photos. And Kevin was thrilled to do the photos. Now there's another photo from that same, I don't know if you have it, but it's from that same album of me and Liza, and that was taken by Kevin as well. So if you look that up, anyway.
Have that.
Yeah, it's just actually I have it across the room. I can probably, but that's okay.
We do have this one.
Oh, that was taken at a club called the Jazz Standard. And that's where the album was recorded as well. That's from 2000, year 2000.
2000.
I'm in that red light. I look like an outgoing order, don't I? Remember that red light? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love this one.
Oh, that's my dear friend, Clea. Oh, Clea.
Yeah.
Do you know Clea?
She's coming on in a couple of weeks. And the last time I saw her, she was in a really cool, funny theatrical performance at Yale University in Connecticut. She's just so fantastic.
She is an amazing singer, actress, performer, comedian, everything. Smart at the whip, just fantastic. There's really nothing that she can't do. And I first met her, I guess, about maybe 15 or so years ago. And we just got along like a house of fire. And
that was the music of Hoagie Carmichael.
But we met before that. Here's that picture.
Oh,
there you go.
Beautiful. That's fantastic. What a great shot that is, huh?
Isn't that good? Yeah, that's a good shot.
So that's a photo. It almost looks like it's a painting.
It is, because we were heavily made up in white. It looks a little ghostly. And that was taken in Liza's bedroom with the red moire silk walls. So there you go.
Really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool right there, what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. A little lighting effect.
I was going to say, absolutely.
So a friend of mine had this album done in vinyl for me as a gift about a month ago. Wow. It was only released as a cassette or a CD. And my friend Mark Ramsey in Dallas was like, I'm doing this because he loves vinyl.
Oh yeah.
So I just thought he was having one made for himself, and in the mail I got one of my own. So
that's what you call a friend. Absolutely.
That's a good friend. He's one of my Billy's Place friends. I've known him a long time, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm getting lots of nice things from people.
That's really fantastic. That's what happens. Exactly. Yeah. Here's another shot.
Oh, I adore her.
And if you lean to the left, we'll see your head. There you are. Yeah. Yeah.
There I am.
That's Christine.
Have you ever seen eyes bluer than that in your whole life? She's gorgeous. She's well, your audience knows her. I mean, she's in a new sitcom now in LA, but splitting her time between Beverly Hills and New Jersey, where she lives. But we met 2001 when we were both cast in the Broadway revival of 42nd Street. Now that's another big break I've had in my career. I had always wanted to do something on Broadway. That's always been mainly my dream was to write something for Broadway, but I'm such a ham. Performing is fine too. So I was good friends with a guy named Mark Bramble, who wrote the book along with Michael Stewart for the musical 42nd Street, which played originally in New York in 1980. And big hit, ran for 9 years, I think.
Oh, sure,
We became friends in the 90s. And then when he was reviving it in 2001, I said, Mark, I want to be in that. And he goes, there's not a part for you in that. I said, what about the guy who plays piano on stage? Oscar, that's not a part for you. He doesn't have any lines. It's like, well, can't he have a couple of lines? Can't he? Goes, let me see what I could do. And he said, maybe I can make this into a part. It was the smallest part, but I got a part on Broadway. And I met 54 fantastic performers and 25 fantastic behind the scenes people. I had the time of my life for about a year and a half. And Christine Ebersole was the star. And that's where we first met. And then 4 years later, we started working together in nightclubs. So our mutual attorney and good friend Mark Sendroff said, "You guys need to do an act together." So he was right, and we started working together in clubs. So
that's incredible. That's fantastic. I mean, it's really amazing when you think about all of these wonderful stories and these people you've come across. And how about this one here?
That's just from last year.
That's recent.
I'm so happy with this album. Clea and Jim and I have been doing a Swingin' Birdland Christmas every year at Birdland, and last December was our 10th year to do this show. And in celebration of that, our friend Wayne Hahn in Nashville has a new record label, and he said we should record this and make an album. So we went to we recorded most of the tracks here in New York. We did the sweetening in Nashville, and it came out, and we have Dave Cause on it, and Donny Osmond is on it. So that came out last year, and it's fantastic. I mean, if I do say so myself, I mean, I love Christmas music. Oh, there I am. Okay.
There you are.
I love Christmas music. I go in the park for walks with my dogs, and I put on my, I just say, play my music. And she goes, playing all songs shuffled. Yeah. And I've got like 12,000 songs. And I would say, 5% of them are Christmas music. And whenever something comes on, I instantly get happy. So I want to encourage people, if they, I know it's July, but if they like Christmas music, it's fun music.
Right.
I encourage people to order this or download it because it's really fun music. You will enjoy it. And I think with a year like what we've had, a little Christmas coming early is not going to hurt anybody, right?
Have you listened to any Christmas music now during all of this? I have.
Well, just what pops up on my shuffle. But, Carpenter's Christmas album is always good.
Love it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't intentionally but if it pops up, I listen to it. I don't skip it. It's like, okay.
Even Percy Faith Orchestra is beautiful. Great concept.
Lush and harmonic and big orchestra.
Yeah.
The bigger the orchestra, the better.
I have a climate controlled storage bin that I pay monthly for that is filled not only with tapes from my television career and radio, but stacks of sealed LPs, cassettes, reel-to-reels of all kinds of music. But there's probably 2,000-3,000 CDs and albums of Christmas music of all different kinds.
Oh, so you really are into it.
Have always loved it, and just
well, there you go. Have you heard our album? You have to.
Yes, I have it. Okay. It's fantastic. It's really, and I would encourage people as well to get it. Is it? Could they get it now? Is it like on Amazon or something?
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. They can get it. They can download it on any of the streaming platforms, and it's on Amazon. And we'd be thrilled. It's called Christmas at Birdland. Absolutely.
It's available everywhere.
Wherever fine music is sold. Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Pandora, everywhere. You can get it. There's no place you can't get it.
As opposed to Tower Records, Record World, and Two Guys, they're gone.
But Tower Records still is online.
They have the online, which I'm so glad that they do.
I think it's like vinyl. I think you can get a lot of vinyl stuff.
Vinyl is so big. I want to share a wonderful clip that we've got here. We've got a couple of nice clips that we were able to gather, which I think is fantastic. This one is What the World Needs Now.
Okay.
And boy, does it. So we're going to set it up here. We're going to share it with our audience, and you're going to absolutely love this, folks. I'm going to bring it up right here. There it is. And any backstory to that?
Well, this is from my weekly live stream. It's called Billy's Place. I do it every Thursday night at 8:00 Eastern time on my Facebook page, Billy Stritch. And then later it goes like yours. It's archived on YouTube. But this is just from my show last Thursday night. I did all Bacharach and David. And so I thought I would send this for, this is... And I sang the song, and then what I didn't send you right after it, I was very thrilled to have Jackie DeShannon, who had the original record of this song, call into my show, and I interviewed her for about 10 minutes. And that was great. But anyway, here's the song. I just thought it was very timely and that your audience might enjoy it.
It's beautiful, absolutely. And
it's from my living room. It's right here where I'm sitting.
From our living room to yours.
Right.
Here we go.
It's spinning.
All these songs. This next song I'm going to sing was written in 1965, and it became an instant hit. It was recorded by lots of different singers, and it kind of became an anthem for the time. And I have to say that it still is. It's being sung all the time. The lyrics are no less profound than they were 52 years ago, 55 years ago when the song was written. It's beautiful. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and mountains enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. No, not just for some, but just for everyone. 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 No, not just for some, but for everyone. That's what the world needs now is love.
It is. That's what that is. Now I can't hear you all of a sudden. I can't hear you, Jim. I can't hear you.
How about now?
Now I hear you. Perfect. Okay.
We wanted to just have a little piece.
A little moment. Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's it.
So it'll sink in.
Sure.
Christine here is saying, thanks, Jim and Billy, for an entertaining, enjoyable interview. Great.
She's one of my Billy's Place fans, and well, I've known her before that, but she's great. And also, I saw John Bacchino's watching.
Yes,
he's also one of those people that hung out with the Liza parties back in the '90s. We were talking about with Ann and Jim, and when Liza, those parties she would give in the '90s. John Bacchino was definitely in that cast of characters as well. He's an amazing composer and pianist and singer and all around. Talk about a great guy. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm going to set up another one here you mentioned earlier that I think people will love, Old Cape Cod.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, I did a show about 3 weeks ago of like it was called Summer Sailing and Sambas. I don't know. It was just an excuse to do some like summery kind of songs, but I had a lot of requests for some reason for Old Cape Cod, and I've worked many summers in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and had some of the most fun times of my life. I've worked there with Marilyn May and Linda Lavin, and also last year with the Countess Luann of the Real Housewives of New York.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I've always loved this song. I've always loved Patti Page. So when your producer Ralph was asking me things to send, I ran across it. I thought maybe your viewers, especially the people that live in that area, might appreciate this little homage to that lovely part of the world. So
And Patti Page, yeah, I had the real honor to interview her on a public television special a few years back before she passed, which was really, it was looking at her entire body of work and her wonderful life. She came into the studio and she just sort of floated right in. She's just so elegant and warm and friendly. Yeah.
Oh, I loved her.
Yeah.
I saw her. She did a concert at Carnegie Hall, probably about 1999, 98.
Yeah.
And it was celebrating her 50th year in showbiz.
Right.
And she hadn't done a show in New York in a long time. And it was thrilling. It was packed. And she was just magnificent.
Absolutely.
It was so great to see her live. Absolutely.
And the Countess, there was a summer event I was at where I met the Countess too. And she was terrific. She was funny and very approachable.
Oh, yeah, she's fun. She's bawdy and fun. And,
Exactly.
and she's a party girl. And we've been doing shows together the past couple of years as well. That's a whole different kind of show.
Yeah.
But it's part of my varied career.
That's right. Versatility is the key. So here's Old Cape Cod with one and only Billy Stritch. Enjoy, everybody.
This song was sung originally by the great singer Patti Page. If you're fond of sand dunes and salty air, quaint little villages here and there, you're sure to fall in love with old Cape Cod. If you like the taste of a lobster stew, served by a window with an ocean view, you're sure to fall in love with old Cape Cod. Winding roads that seem to beckon you, miles of green beneath a sky of blue, church bells chiming on a Sunday morn remind you of the town where you were born. If you spend an evening, you'll want to stay, watching the moonlight on Cape Cod Bay. You're sure to fall in love with old Cape Cod. I know I did. Winding roads that seem to beckon you, mouse of green beneath the sky of blue, church bells chiming on a Sunday morn remind you of the town where you were born. If you spend an evening you want to stay, watching the moonlight on Cape Cod Bay, you're sure to fall in love with old Cape Cod. You're sure to fall in love. You're sure to fall in love with old Cape
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank
A
you.
lot of great comments too. People now want to get in the car and they want to head to Cape Cod.
I miss it so much. I want to go there so bad, and it's just a magical place, I have to say. So
Thanks for memories of dunes and sunsets.
I thought your audience might like this one tonight for sure.
Even Willie in Holland is up at
I know.
2 a.m.
She's clapping, and she was closing her eyes and listening. She said, "I like
That's
that very
right.
much."
Love the piano as
Thanks,
well.
Mom. Thank you.
And let's see, more coming on. And so, of course,
Love it.
Christine loves the rendition as well.
Thanks, Christine.
And Rini Katz earlier said that it's her mother's birthday today.
Ah, nice. Happy birthday. What's her name, I wonder?
Yeah, what is her name? Because
Well, she can't tell you, right? Yeah.
So
she'll write you and tell you.
we'll just say Madeline.
Yeah, right.
Love
Right.
this song in Cape Cod. Beautiful arrangement. Feel like I'm there.
Good.
Well, Ann and I, when there was a couple of people that had birthdays, we sang happy birthday to them. Do you want to do a quick happy birthday to her mom?
I don't know her mom's name, though, but we could just say,
Reenie's mom.
we could do that. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Reenie's mom.
yeah. Happy birthday
to
her.
you.
Yeah.
We love you.
You know, at the restaurant down the corner, Trattoria dell'Arte, when someone's
Just
birthday,
him.
they go, "Happy birthday, total stranger. Happy birthday to," which I do like. I think
That's
that
it.
covers all of it.
So, Rainey, you got a happy birthday for your mom from Billy Stritch and Jim Masters Live. It doesn't get any better than that, does it?
Well, not right in this moment. Anyway.
Not right in this moment. Absolutely. I have another clip here that we want to share with our wonderful friends here.
Good. All right.
All right. Now, this one here is going to get it all fired up, ready to go. This looks like the one that is coming up. You're doing a duet.
This is the duet that I did with Debbie Wildman. This is a song that I don't know if you know. In 1993, I had a big country hit.
Oh yes,
that was recorded by Reba McEntire and Linda Davis, called "Does He Love You?" And it won a Grammy Award. It won Country Music Awards. Sold a lot of copies. And my co-writer Sandy Knox and I had a great time writing that song. And a few years later, we wrote this song, which is called "Since You Left New York." And then we didn't do anything with it. I mean, I'd totally forgotten about it. And then when this pandemic started, Sandy sent me the recording and said, I think this song might have some resonance now that New York is a little shut down. It might have a little bit, there might be some layer to it. And around the same time, we had discovered this great, fantastic singer from England on YouTube. I have not met her face to face yet. Neither has Sandy, but she was putting out a song a day. Her name is Debbie Wildman. She is an incredible singer in her own right, but you will never hear anybody sound more like Judy Garland or Christy Springfield. Or I mean, she can do, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah,
she sounds just as good as the originals. So, like one day she would do a Judy song, then one day she'd do one as herself. Anyway, Sandy said, "I think it'd be great if Debbie could sing the song with you." So I recorded a piano track here in New York in my apartment. We sent it to Nashville. We added a little drum track to it. I recorded my vocal part over here by the window. Debbie did her vocal part in London, and then Sandy's great team in Nashville put together this great video. Now, the song has not been released yet, so your listeners, I put it on Facebook, but your listeners are probably seeing it for the first time, and hopefully we're going to have a chance to maybe record it in a studio and do something larger with it. I'm very proud of this song. It's called "Since You Left New York." So
Since You Left New York.
I like this pose of me with my mouth open. Yes. Like that. All right, get off that. Press play.
That's such expression.
I know,
this is the world premiere of this beautiful song right here on the Jim Master Show Live. Before we do, Jim chimed in and said when we were singing to Rainie's mom, Mrs. Katz.
Oh, there you go. Happy birthday, Mrs. Kat.
Rose. She says it's Rose.
I know. I was just texting with Jim, and I said, "You got to turn this on and watch the show." So there he is. That's good. Rose.
Happy 85th birthday, Rose. Congratulations. And you are very welcome. It was our pleasure to perform for you there. And timing is everything, Christine says.
There you go.
Brian says, great song for two females, the Reba number.
It was. Thank you, Brian.
Good stuff. So happy birthday to Rose, to your mom. And so nice that you are watching. All right, let's take a look at this wonderful performance here, Since You Left New York. Enjoy, everybody.
They turned out the lights on old Broadway. They stopped playing jazz in the cabaret. And rumor has it that the plaza closed its doors. And down in the street, cabbies won't blow their horns. Oh, that's how it's been since you left New York.
In Central Park, the birds refused to sing, and I heard the flowers have decided to cancel spring. And that Manhattan moon lost the shine it had before, and I can't see the lights of the skyline anymore. That's how it's been since you left New York.
The busiest city is the loneliest town. Oh, because you've gone away.
I walk in a daze. It's so hard to get around. And that's how it'll be till you come back to stay.
No New Year's Eve in old Times Square. No reason to celebrate if you won't be there.
So much to do here, but it's all become a bore. Even the lady in the harbor has turned down her torch. That's how it's been since you left New York. I walk in a daze, it's so hard to get around. That's how it'll be till you come back to stay. In old Times Square, no reason to celebrate if you won't be there. So much to do here, but it's all become more. Lady in the harbor, she has turned down her torch. That's how it's been since you left New York. That's how it's been since you left New York. Since you left New York. You left New York. Why did you leave New York?
That is really nice. That is really fantastic.
I'm very proud of that. I mean, we didn't realize at the time, but I just hearing it again after a couple of months of not listening to it, it's like I like that song. I like it.
Absolutely. Rennie Katz, love this duet just great.
And how about Debbie? Isn't she fantastic?
Unbelievable.
What a voice she's got.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody to check her out on Facebook. Debbie Wildman, Wileman. She's got incredible videos.
Love to have her on. Tell her. Maybe we'll get her on the show. It'd be fantastic.
I'm sure you could make that happen. She's 5 hours ahead of us, but I'm sure she'd do it. Be great.
This song is brilliant with beautiful blending and yes, so relevant to today's New York City. It's magical, a song that draws you in and remains in your heart long after the song is over. Thanks for this gift. That is very, very beautiful. Danilo Reyes in San Diego says, bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Crystal says, absolutely amazing. Again, it's the first time you're hearing it, folks, right here on the show.
Pretty much the first time. Yep.
We appreciate you doing that.
I mean, I just love the whole line about there's no New Year's Eve in Old Times Square and the plaza's closed. And it's like, because, that's what's going on now, so it's, it takes on that extra level. So, it's funny because I feel like songs sometimes get written and it's not the right time for the song. And I think in the case of this song, it was like, when we did it 25 years ago, it was like, I'm not sure what it means. And then Sandy remembered it, and it's like, it's very timely now. And I don't think it was a timely song, particularly then. It was just another love song, but I think now it has that extra meaning.
Isn't that amazing how that works? There was a song that Anne also brought out that was like 40 years old, and she did it when we were on, and she's like, it's so much more timely now. Sometimes that happens, right?
That's right. It's like sometimes the song is written, but it's not the right time for the song. It's like world events change the perception and change the time for the song. So
that's right.
It's all so subjective, and there's no way to really know. Music is such it's just out there in the ether, and it's like the combination has to line up. And I hope this song has a life, because I think this is a good time for the song. So
Well, spread the word, folks. It's a beautiful
spread the word. I
Yeah.
mean, I would love to have a big hit record.
Do you see? Yes, you
You
heard it,
think?
folks.
Why
Absolutely.
not?
Why not? Is right.
I don't care who sings it. I don't have to be the one singing it, by the way. You know, I mean, it could be Lady Gaga and Michael Bublé or somebody. I don't care. I
Yeah.
just like the song to get out there.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Really well done. Beautifully done. And just listening to that gorgeous piano, and you know, it's like bata when you do it. It's so beautiful. Bata when you do it. And I think we've got another one here. Let's see if we can bring this up. This is the. Oh, there it is. Let's see if we can bring that
Is this
up.
a coffee song?
This one is my favorite year.
Oh, yay. I'm glad.
Let's see if we can play that one. This
This
one's
is just audio, I think, correct?
yeah, this one's just audio. So
Oh, I love this.
yeah, this is a nice one. Let's see if we can get that going as an
Okay.
it's an MP3.
This is old. And yet unreleased. Never released this version, but my friend Michelle Browerman
Oh yeah.
and Karen Gottlieb wrote this song. I've been singing it for years and years and years. I recorded this version of the song probably 1995 for an album project. Album never got released.
Really?
And then Ralph, our friend Ralph, remembered this, you know, and Michelle sent the copy. I couldn't even find it. Michelle had the copy, and it's a gorgeous song. So yeah, let's listen to it.
Here it is.
Okay.
Absolutely. And Michelle Browerman, she was a guest a couple of weeks ago with Hillary Rollins. We had a great.
She's great. Oh,
yeah, she's great.
Talented girl.
Billy Stritch with My Favorite Year.
You reappearing in my mind. You were right, and I was blind. But that was long ago. Now, do I ever cross your mind? And are your memories like mine? Or have they let you go? After all the loves I've lived through all these years, I had to go so far without you. Now it's clear you were my favorite love. That was my favorite year. When we were young forever yesterday. Fools and little children run away. But if we could go back there, would we stay? After all the loves I've lived through all these years, I had to go so far without you. Now it's clear you were my favorite love. That was my favorite year. You were my favorite love. That was my favorite year. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da da da.
Mm, 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 mm.
Well, that's kind of a perfect song, isn't it?
That is absolutely.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. That is
Beautiful, sad, poignant. I mean, it's just everything. A good song. I feel all the feels with that song.
that really
Right.
is. Yeah, it's beautifully done. Very touching, and it leaves you contemplating, but also leaves you wanting more. It leaves you wanting more.
Well, that's what it should do. That's it. Leave them wanting more. That's
Very,
it.
very beautiful. World premiere of the unreleased Billy Stritch version
That's
of
right.
Bowerman.
Never released. I'm so happy Ralph remembered that, and I'm so happy that Michelle had a copy of it to send so readily to you. And I was saying to Michelle, I listened to it just the other night. I hadn't heard it in years, and I remember writing that cello part. It's a gorgeous cello part. Well, I wrote the part. I was writing what I heard in my head, and I had never written anything for cello before. And I remember at the studio giving it to the guy who was playing it, and he was like, this is like really high. It's way out of a normal cello player's range. It's what they call virtuoso. I mean, there's like, you play like another 6 notes, you have to be really, he said, but let me try it. And he practiced it. I think we took a lunch break. He came back and he nailed the thing, but it goes very high. And now 25 years later, I would not have written it quite so rangy, but it's fun to hear it, and the guy nailed it. And it's what I heard in my head. I told Michelle, it's what I was hearing. It's what your music inspired me to write. So
Absolutely. We do have one more. Do you have time for one more?
I have time for one more, sure.
The coffee song.
Okay.
Yeah. Got to get that in, and we're setting it up right now.
Okay, good. Let's set it up. This is again from my living room. This is from a recent Billy's Place broadcast, one of my Thursday night shows. So
fantastic. I just tell you, my friend, it's so wonderful that you're spending this beautiful evening with us, and I really, really appreciate it. And we hope you come back anytime you want. The door is always open.
I like that. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. And let's take a listen right now to Billy Stritch.
Do it.
With The Coffee Song.
The Coffee Song.
For her. The first 2 verses were written by Dick Miles, Bob Hilliard, and the third verse has great lyrics that were written by the late, great Bob Dorough. This is called The Coffee Song. Way down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they got a lot of coffee cups to fill. They got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. You can't get cherry soda because they've got to fill their quota, and the way things are, I guess they never will. They got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. No tea or tomato juice, you'll see. No potato juice for the planters down in Santos. I'll say no, no, no. A politician's daughter was accused of drinking water and was fined a great big $50 bill. They got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. You date a girl and find out later she smells like a percolator. Her perfume was brewed right on the grill. They could percolate the ocean in Brazil. And when their ham and eggs need savor, coffee ketchup gives them flavor. Coffee pickles far outsell the dill. They put coffee in the coffee in Brazil. It's a lot of coffee. You'll see. No potato juice, no siree, no tea or tomato juice. For the planters down in Santos, I'll say no, no, no. So you'll add to the local color, drinking coffee with a crawler. Dunking doesn't take a lot of skill. They got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. Okay, here's the Bob Dorough verse. And though the price gets high and higher, still I call my local buyer. Tell him that I pay, I always will. I gotta have that special coffee from Brazil. Now other folks are drinking chocolate fizz, fazz, and other pop, but I still have to have my caffeine thrill. A very special brand of coffees from Brazil. You'll see no tomato juice, no siree, no TR tomato juice. For the planters down in Santos all say no, no, no. When you do the bossa nova, if your cup it runneth over, make sure that it's coffee that you spill. They got an awful lot of coffee, mucho macho coffee, awful lot of coffee in Brazil. Yes, they do. So I've heard. Actually, I've been to Brazil a few times, and there is there.
Shut him up. Shut him up. That's enough of him. That's enough of him. Make him shut up. Anyway. That's a fun song, isn't it? It's good, right?
Fantastic. It's fantastic. It really, really puts you just in a really good mood, you know?
I know. I saw your person watching from Barcelona was enjoying it, right?
Absolutely. Now, would you say that you're really, can you write something on the spot, or does it take some time? You really got to think about it.
I mean, rarely I write, like I wrote a theme for this web show that I'm doing every Thursday night. And that came actually pretty quick because I knew I just wanted to write one verse. I wanted it to sound like a TV theme. So I wrote that in about an hour, I guess, but it comes harder for me. I'm not like Anne. I can't just like sit down with ideas and like create something great. I wish I could do that. But no, in answer to your question, no.
Yeah. Rennie says, fun, got to get me some coffee from the Midland Kitchen. Running joke because we have viewers in Australia, and one of them, Eileen Barker, always says, I'm here in the Midlands of Eastern Perth, Western Australia. So she's in the Midlands of Flushing, Queens.
I've been I've been to Perth, and I've been to all the cities in Australia for sure. Yeah. And I've been to Flushing, Queens too, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you know, when you look, I know you have to scoot off. You have another thing coming up. But when you look, Issy in Barcelona, bravissimo. And Ralph says Bob would have dug this, Billy.
Bob Dorough. Yeah, he knew Bob too. Yeah. You know, Bob Doroug's the guy that wrote Schoolhouse Rock and, you know, all those great songs. And he was just a great jazz cat. And he died about 2 years ago at the age of 90 something. You know, he was great. So he would have I think he would have liked it too.
Yeah. So, you know, when you look at all of this, and we'll have you back more, the door's always open, but when you look at this body of work and the enjoyment that it not only brings you, but the enjoyment that it brings so many people, all generations, all cultures, all backgrounds, all locations, tastes, you've really touched upon it all in a very deep way. And I think when an artist has an opportunity to do that, we're all artists, we're creatives. So when you have an opportunity to really do that and touch people so deeply as you have in so many different ways, Billy, tell us about some of those blessings and joys that inspire you to continue to create all this wonderful material that you do for all of our greater good.
Well, I mean, I've always, I just feel so grateful that I always had this talent, you know, and I don't know where it came from. I mean, some people would say it came from God, and I am a believer, and I do think it came from a higher power, you know, and I think that I was touched with it, you know. I mean, it's like I didn't do anything. It just comes through me. And so, you know, when it happens to you, and that happens to you from an early age, before you are really in the age of reasoning and doubting and self-doubt and all these things, just it's pure and it comes through. That's proof to me that it is coming from, you know, a higher power, that there's some connection there. So I'm very, that's the beginning of it. I am very grateful to have had a career that's lasted as long as it has. I feel like I've had a lot of luck and good fortune in being in the right place at the right time. And what I tell new performers who are coming up said, don't ever say no to anything. If you're asked to do something, just be open to things. And I think I was always very open to possibilities and new things. But I was in the right place, the right time, and I had the talent to back it up. And certainly this last 4 months, this thing we're going through, nobody could have foreseen something. I mean, we're all going on with our lives, and we're all secure in what we do, and everything's kind of steady. And then something like this comes along, and it just is like something unlike anything any of us have ever had to deal with. And to be able to take it and reevaluate, and first of all, have the technology that we have. God forbid if this would have happened 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Without the age of the internet and computers and Zoom and SteamYard and all these great possibilities that we have, we would have been screwed. Pardon me, but so it's very divine. There's something divine going on that it's happening when we have a chance to, and I don't know beyond that. I mean, I feel like I'm very grateful for the chances that I've found in the last 4 months to keep doing my music and to enjoy other people's stuff. It's like this thing is not going to get us down.
That's right.
And it's going to get us down, but it's not going to kill us. It's not going to get rid of us. We're going to succeed.
We need each other.
We need each other. We need each other. And we're finding out all the ways that we need each other and the ways that we can be together and be connected and yet not be in the same room.
Exactly.
So it's a real lesson. And, I think the key is to be open to it and to listen and to be, be sympathetic and be empathetic and just listen to what's going on and what people are going through. It's a real chance for growth.
I've been saying that on the air and off the air to so many people that we were social distancing before we were told we have to, because we had our heads stuck in our cell phones. People were stuck on the computer. And now that we've had to social distance, nobody really likes it. And I think that this is a beautiful, no, they don't. And it's a beautiful opportunity, Billy, that we have to, through all of the horrific nature of it all, which we all know people and we've all experienced it, and bless everybody who's been going through so much. This is sort of a unique and beautiful reset opportunity where we can, if we remind ourselves to listen to one another, not be so divisive, to be empathetic, to be kind, to be loving, to be creative, and that we're all supposed to be here for one another, we could come out of this and sort of rise from these ashes, not going back to any sense of normal, because maybe normal wasn't so hot, but maybe better.
Yes. Thank you. Amen. I mean, I think if we could really learn from this and come out of this a little bit more evolved and a little bit, and I don't think there's any accident that this whole Black Lives Matter thing has happened at the same time. I think it's a chance for us to grow in all those ways. Listen to each other, be empathetic toward each other, take care of each other. And, everybody's on their own timeline, but I feel like it really is a chance for evolvement. And I think that's why we're here. We're here to evolve.
We are.
We're not here just to stumble through. We're here to grow.
Exactly.
So and we're being thrown a big test, but I think we can succeed at this. We can pass the test.
Absolutely beautiful comments. Fabulous interview. We're looking forward to this place.
It's true, and everybody has to vote in November. Okay. Please.
Yes.
Vote.
Yes. Yep. You've got to vote. We will be forever changed.
That's right.
That is. Even watching through a tornado. Oh, great.
Go, Renee, go to the basement. Please.
She's in Iowa.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. I know. The Midwest.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Take care of yourself, Renee.
Take care of yourself. We love you. She's a faithful fan as well. Billy, you are amazing. Thank you very much. I know you got to scoot off, but
I just one more? I just want to tell people about the live stream really quick.
Yeah.
Before I sign off.
Sure.
This has been a great couple hours, Jim. I really
what?
enjoyed
Willie
it.
in Holland, 3 a.m. She's awake. She's still with us.
Willie's awake. I love it. Love you, Willie.
Love you, Willie. You're done.
So Willie and everybody watching, I do this thing. I'm just to self-promote for a second, called Billy's Place, and the clips that you've seen tonight are from those broadcasts.
That's right.
Every Thursday night at 8:00 Eastern time, on Facebook. It's my Billy Stritch Facebook page, and you don't have to be on Facebook to watch it. You can go to Facebook, just
it's right
go
there.
to Billy Stritch page. It's right there. If you miss it at the time, they're all archived on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel that's also called Billy Stritch, and if you wouldn't mind, if you go there, please subscribe to that. Listen, we've got to self-promote. We've got to build our brands. This is the wave and the way we do it.
We've got to subscribe to each other.
Yeah, I've subscribed to you, so you subscribe to me. Billy Stritch, I'm trying to get more subscribers, because you get more subscribers on YouTube, and then they start putting ads on YouTube, and then we can all get some money from YouTube, and that's good. Why shouldn't we all make money? So
it's those algorithms they've got, right?
It's the algorithms. But the main thing is I'm doing a different show every Thursday night. Last week it was Burt Bacharach. The week before it was Candor and Ebb. The week before it was Barry Manilow, and he called in, and we had a nice conversation.
Wonderful.
And, so every Thursday at 8:00, Billy's Place on my Facebook channel. So please watch.
It's a nice tag team, folks. You've got Jimmy's Place. You got the Jim Master Show live from 7 to 8, and then hop on over at 8 to Billy's Place.
Except you run longer than 8, but that's okay. They can watch me later on YouTube. That's
well. I was going to say this show was only supposed to be an hour. All of them. When I started at 10
I
weeks,
know, but
it was supposed to be an hour. But
there's so much to talk about, and it's cool. It's just great.
Nothing scripted. No teleprompters.
And, where are people going anyway? Where are we going? We're not going out to dinner, or we're not going to the theater.
Where in God's name would they have found incredible entertainment like this tonight? Nowhere but here.
Don't answer that.
I know. Well, Billy, you're the best.
Thank you. This is fun.
We must toast. You have anything left in your glass, or did you refill it?
I have a little left.
Cheers.
One last sip.
Let's see if we do it again. To the right. Oh, he didn't even wait. He just did.
I didn't wait. Bye.
Thanks for being with us, Billy.
Thank you so much.
We love you. Thank you very much. You're a blessing and a joy.
Thank you. So are you.
See you again soon, and hopefully we'll be breaking bread and really toasting in person.
Yeah, we will. Okay, my friend.
All right. You take care.
Night. Thanks to everybody who watched. It was really fun. Thanks for all the lovely comments.
Thank you, and you have a great night. You be well, okay?
Okay, you too.
Take care.
Bye-bye
now. Our very special guest, the incomparable Billy Stritch. Did you enjoy that, folks? I certainly hope you did. Not only did we get some incredible performance, you got some behind-the-scenes stories, too, from this phenomenal person. As I said, he's a great guy. He's got a big heart, really soulful. He's multi-talented. He likes to have fun. What I love, too, is we shared with you some of his material that, had a real energetic passion to it, but also some of the more meaningful and poignant pieces as well. And again, I know you guys really love that story with talking about Liza Minnelli as well, and the meeting of Liza. Again, just tell you a little bit more. As I mentioned, he did grow up in Sugar Land, Texas, and he's performed literally around the world. And if you read his bio, usually, I have the bio and all that in front of me, but what I wanted to really do is have him sort of tell his story. Anybody could just print out and read a bio. This is the Jim Master Show live. So I'm always in studios where we have teleprompters and scripts, or I end up doing a lot of ad lib too on PBS and everywhere else. But I like it when sometimes the individual that I'm conversing with has an opportunity to tell their story in their own words. And he mentioned all the way back from his childhood, all the way up to, the Phyllis Diller and the Liza and Jim Caruso and Birdland and so much more. Linda Lavin as well, another veteran of great music and television and film. Extraordinary night. And we have more great guests coming up throughout the week. Edward Jordan. Edward is a prolific screenwriter and film director, and actress and producer Sky Aubrey. They're both going to be here tomorrow night. The phenomenal Broadway star and fabulous actor, singer, dancer Lance Roberts is going to be here on Thursday night. And we have on Friday Stan Livingston. Stan Livingston was Chip in the 60s sitcom My Three Sons. Remember My Three Sons with William Demarest? Fred McMurray as the father. Stan's going to be here at the latter part of this week. We have guests all the way up until September. Thanks so much for all of you who have been sharing the comments on the page. We love that. But also sharing the links, as Billy was talking about. Subscribing to the YouTube channels do really help us. And if you can subscribe to my channel, Jim Masters TV, that's great, because not only do you get to see all the episodes archived of the Jim Masters Show live, but also at the same time, and there you go right there, not only do you get to see that, but there's some other professional work over the years I've done in television, documentaries and other specials that's on there. And then also Masters Mantras, and I've done those for years on Facebook. And they're positive observations of life, positive comments, uplifting. And I've been doing that well before any pandemics. I've been doing it for years. And so many people look for them every day and have told me I should write a book and everything else. So I've been posting them in video form at Jim Masters TV. So you get to see all the archives, 10 weeks of great shows and the amazing guests, fun and levity, or levity as we call it, here just for you. The on-location segments, as the food, the music, the comedy, as we have presented it to you here on the show. Again, we just went through some major upgrades the last 2 days. I really appreciate all the love and the comments you guys have been presenting. Don't even need these anymore. Now I can breathe. Only use those when we have a guest. But it was really great having you guys here with us. And I toast all of you as well. Another extended version of the Jim Masters Show Live. And let me see if I can get this down here for you. I know you guys love this. I'm going to get a higher table. I might be the star of the show. We say this at the end of every night's show, but I might be the star of the show and the producer. However, you guys, you and you and you and you and you guys are the real stars. You. I say this at the end of every episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. All of your friends are here. They all say good night. I say good night. We toast you. We love you. We will be here tomorrow night. Let's take a look at some quick comments, because I know everybody's going to want to have their comments shown. Let's see what we've got. Oh, boy. And Rini, thank you for letting us know that is your mother's birthday. We appreciate that. And we say, happy birthday to Rose. So maybe we can do one more. You had Billy and I sing happy birthday to your mom. So maybe we'll do one more. And let's see, we've got wonderful music. Thank you, Willie, for sticking with us as well. Just a few more comments coming in here. Some really beautiful words. Wow, look at all of this. And you guys really liked the coffee song, didn't you? Absolutely. Great show. Adrenaline in your life from the music, and now you must sleep. Well, join me in singing happy birthday for Rini's mom, now that we know her mom's name is Rose. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rose. We love you. You have a wonderful daughter. Thanks for watching. Happy birthday in the Midlands of Flushing, Queens, New York, dear Rose. Happy birthday, Rose, from Jim Masters and all of us here at the Jim Masters Show Live. Personally sung just for you. Good interview. When I was able to see of it. Archived on YouTube. I know you just got in the door. And Christine, welcome to the show. Jim, it was truly a terrific interview. Thank you. That's how I do my interviews. They're conversational. They're warm. There's no scripts. There's no airs. There's no egos. It's fun. This is what I do for a living, as a professional TV radio host. I'm loving that I get a chance to do this with all of you here at the home studio. What do you think? You like it? 10 weeks. And we just did some major upgrades and some other cool things to bring you the best product available. And we are still growing by leaps and bounds. We're tweaking here, tweaking there. We've got a whole host of cool things coming up. So thank you for your kind words. We really appreciate it all around the world. We do reach a global audience as well. Well, if you noticed, I only had the one glass of that watermelon martini. Billy had a big goblet there. I think he refilled it a couple of times. You know, when we went to the music, I think I saw him refilling it. But hey, why not? You work hard, right? Happy birthday to your mom, Rini, and her mom, Rose. Yes, happy birthday to Rose. Flowers for Rose, flowers for Willie, flowers for Rose, our wonderful Rini. Now, you remember, if you missed that incredible interview I did with Rini Katz, cabaret star and author and so much more, and she really opened up about her life just a couple of nights ago here on the show last week. Watch that interview on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. It really is quite inspiring, quite moving with Rini Katz. We loved it. And Renee got Rini's CD. You ordered it? Fantastic. I have it here. She sent it to me. It's fantastic. She's got such a beautiful voice. And I got sung to last night. Paul agreed for my birthday. Great night. Hey, that's right. It's your birthday too. That means we have to sing again. I think we shall. You got kisses and all kinds of stuff there. I thought you were going to bed. You never go to bed, Willie. You don't go to bed. You are nocturnal. My mom is so honored and says, you look handsome in that jacket. Well, thank you very much. And now that we have reconfigured our studio, I can move around a lot more. You know, the lighting changes. It throws it off when I do it. But we can do it. Your mom is so honored. Thank you. Looks fancy in that jacket. Very kind, Jim. My pleasure. And Renee, aren't you supposed to be heading? Billy told you, get down in that basement. Don't you have a tornado coming your way? Get down in that basement. I hope you guys are safe. And we wish you the best. Happy to Isigari. All right. So it is Renee's birthday. So Paul sang, my fabulous friend Paul Green, who was also a guest on this show. You see him in all the Hallmark movies. He's a great musician, actor. He's a dear friend. We always see each other at Carnegie Hall when I MC the Tim Janis concerts and more. So, all right. One more happy birthday, and then we're going to wrap up. I didn't even eat dinner yet. We just got everything configured about 5 minutes before the show went on. We'll be back 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. Yesterday was your birthday. Yesterday we weren't here because we were upgrading our studio. We did a major upgrade, as you can see probably. We did a major upgrade to the studio. So we are going to sing happy birthday to you right now. You ready, George and Jeannie and Silver and Jimmy? And of course, Billy is there, freeze frame. So you got Jimmy here too. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Renee. We love you in the breadbasket of the country, Iowa. Happy birthday to you. There you go. There you go. Right on the spot. Without any professional stuff, just threw it at you. Happy birthday to Renee in Iowa. Hope you enjoyed that. Jim Masters singing you. I'm talking in the third person. Jim Masters singing you. I'm singing you. Happy birthday. Your mom will be 86 in 2 weeks? Well, I guess in 2 weeks, guess what's going to have to happen for your mom? So we'll have to remind me, and in 2 weeks, we will sing happy birthday to your mom. All right? All right, guys, we're going to wrap. You are very welcome. So now you've got double. You've got Paul and Jim that have sung you in 1 week's time. Happy birthday. Where are you going to get that, Renee? Very, very nice. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Happy birthday, Renee. See, this is a great audience we have here. Everyone, good night. You be safe, Renee. You be safe. And subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. So we're going to get ready to wrap up. We're here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific. One more thing that is very important that we do at the end of the show. There's so many elements to this show. It's daunting sometimes. Relax. Don't forget to relax, to breathe. Breathe from the diaphragm. Love one another. Take care of one another. Be good to one another, as Billy and I were talking about tonight. Care about one another. Be creative, do what you can to help one another, and we will get through all of these times together and hopefully come out of this better. So, as I always say on this show, relax. This is your host, Jim Masters, saying relax. Love you guys. You're a true blessing. Thanks for joining us on this episode, extended episode. And Billy had such a great time. I knew he had to scoot off, but he wanted to stay longer. And the door is always open. Guests are allowed. Welcome to stay on the show for as long as they want, and so are you. Spread the word. Big favor. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the Facebook page. Tell everybody about this cool show you're watching nightly here on YouTube and Facebook, Jim Masters TV. We have so many cool things planned for you. As long as you're there, I will be here as well. So for all of us, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for everything you're doing, telling everybody about the show and spreading the word. All the past episodes are available on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. I hope you like all of the new cool things that we're doing. And I say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. We will see you tomorrow night. It's always a blessing. It's always a pleasure to have you here. We love you. And again, if you get a chance to go to the place I love to go to, which is the ocean, make sure you do that as well. We also thank our wonderful friends at LMG, Lampkin Music Group, for their wonderful support and love and everything that they do for us as well. Ralph and the team, we love them. Thank you so very, very much. And again, folks, it's always a blessing to have you here on the show. You get to go to the coast, which we've been doing a lot. Try to get out there, and I wouldn't do it right now because it's pouring rain here right now. And smile as often as you can, all right? And I will leave you with this wonderful sunset that we captured not that long ago. If you missed it a couple of weeks ago, it's always another beautiful thing to take a look at, especially during these interesting times that we are all living in. Spread the word, folks. This entertainment lifestyle talk show series is here for you, for me, for our guests, for everybody. We put a lot of work into it. Love doing it. It's what I do for a living, but here we're doing this out of the home studio, and it's a lot of work, but it's a labor of love. And as long as you're there, we will be here as well. Yes, smiles. So for everybody here at the Jim Masters Show Live, we say thank you very much. Join us tomorrow. Another phenomenal show coming up. Great guests throughout the week. Again, Edward Jordan, film director, screenwriter, and also screenplay writer, and wonderful Sky Aubrey. She will be with us as well. That is tomorrow live on the Jim Masters Show Live. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, gang, we're going to wrap up here. Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we will be back tomorrow night live. Hope you guys are here too. We love you all. We thank you for all the support. Thank you for all of the love. And that's a wrap. It's time to eat. I don't know about you, but I am starving. I haven't eaten anything at all today. Well, what did I have? I had a quick salad. Billy had a quick bite of a sandwich about 5 minutes before we went on the show. And he filled his glass as I filled mine. And I had a quick salad with some cranberry horseradish jam that was in it, with lettuce and feta cheese and a little sliced salmon in the salad. It was really good. Maybe one of these days I'll make some food for you on camera. I know we've eaten it on camera for you. All right, gang. Love you all. Thanks for being with us. Jim Masters here, saying good night. Take care. Be well. Sweet dreams. And that's a wrap. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Love you. Good night. And take care. See you tomorrow. I'll be here. Hope you are too. Good night.